Archive File 002. The moon that was orbiting absolutely nothing. It was found 42 light-years from Earth, moving through an empty region. No star, planet, or visible object existed anywhere near its path. Yet Nix 4 followed a perfect elliptical orbit around a point in darkness. The moon accelerated. Whenever it approached the invisible center of that orbit, the gravitational force was stronger than that of a planet, twice Jupiter's size. But telescopes detected no heat, light, radiation, or conventional black hole signature. The only visible evidence was a ring of stars bent around empty space. Something massive was present, but it appeared to contain no measurable matter. The phenomenon was classified as Object Epsilon, an impossible gravitational source. The Orion 7 probe was assigned to approach Nix 4 and study the anomaly. Its instruments were designed to detect gravity where ordinary sensors found nothing. The probe entered a folded space corridor and began its 14-month journey. During the journey, Nix 4 completed 11 perfectly identical orbits. Not one orbit deviated by even a fraction of a kilometer. Orion 7 arrived as the moon entered the darkest part of its orbit. Nix 4 was larger than Earth's moon and covered in deep circular canyons. Violet mineral rivers glowed across valleys untouched by any visible sunlight. One hemisphere remained permanently turned toward Object Epsilon. The moon was tidally locked to something no human instrument could see. Orion 7 approached the hemisphere that had never faced the surrounding stars. Radar pulses disappeared into the terrain without producing a single returning echo. Radio, thermal, and magnetic scans were absorbed in exactly the same way. The dark hemisphere behaved less like rock and more like a receiving surface. Then one canyon responded with a single pulse of artificial cyan light. The pulse repeated every 17 seconds. As if guiding the probe downward, Orion 7 entered the canyon and descended beneath the moon's surface. The walls contained geometric patterns carved beneath layers of ancient mineral. The canyon had not formed naturally. It was an entrance built from above. At 6 kilometers below the surface, the darkness suddenly opened into a city. Thousands of towers stood perfectly preserved beneath the crust of Nix 4. Violet mineral rivers powered pathways that had remained illuminated for centuries. No dust covered the streets, and none of the structures showed decay. It looked abandoned, but nothing suggested its inhabitants had ever departed. Every tower faced the same direction, toward Object Epsilon beyond the moon. The entire city had been designed as one enormous directional instrument. Inside the buildings were thousands of chambers shaped like listening stations. But the chambers were not listening to space above the moon. They were receiving a signal rising from somewhere beneath the city. At the center stood a shaft descending beyond the range of the probe. Orion 7 entered the shaft and began a descent into the moon. Ancient symbols repeated along the walls at intervals of exactly 17 meters. The number 17 had now appeared in every major system on Nix 4. After 60 kilometers, the artificial tunnel opened into an impossible cavity. Nix 4 was hollow, and most of its natural core had been removed. The moon had been transformed into a shell surrounding something else. At the center floated a sphere darker than the space around it. No light reflected from its surface because no visible surface existed. The sphere generated the same gravity that controlled Nix Fowler's entire orbit. The invisible object had never been outside the moon. It was inside it. The moon was not orbiting object Epsilon. It was carrying it. Ancient projections activated as Orion 7 approached the sphere. They showed a civilization discovering the sphere drifting between dead stars. The object produced limitless gravity without consuming surrounding matter. The builders believed they had found a permanent source of power. They constructed Nix Fowler around it as both laboratory and protective shell. But the sphere was not generating gravity. It was creating distance. Inside its boundary, space extended far beyond the sphere's visible dimensions. The builders had not discovered an energy source, but an entrance. Object Epsilon was a gateway leading somewhere beyond normal space. The final projection showed the builders entering the gateway together. No vessel was shown returning to Nix Fowler afterward. The city had not been abandoned. Its entire population had crossed over. Nix Fowler remained behind to wait for a specific astronomical alignment. That alignment was scheduled to occur during Orion 7's arrival. The sphere suddenly responded to the probe's communication frequency. A star map appeared, containing one location the probe immediately recognized. The coordinates pointed directly toward the solar system. A second coordinate marked Earth, not as a destination, but an origin. The builders of Nix Fowler may once have come from humanity's future. Before the transmission ended, every system across the moon reactivated. The listening chambers reversed direction and began transmitting outward. Nix Fowler slowed, breaking the orbit it had followed for centuries. For the first time, the moon rotated independently from object Epsilon. Its dark hemisphere turned through space until it faced the solar system. A narrow beam emerged from the canyon where Orion 7 had first entered. The transmission carried 17 repeating symbols and a single human word. When translated, the word did not mean warning. It meant return. Nix Fowler was never orbiting nothing. It had been waiting for Earth. And somewhere beyond the gateway, something may already be coming home. File 001, the planet that appeared for 17 minutes. Archive File 001, a world that existed for exactly 17 minutes. It appeared beyond Saturn, inside a region believed to contain nothing but darkness. At first, the observatory classified the object as a temporary sensor malfunction. Seconds later, 3 independent systems confirmed an object larger than the Earth. Its surface was black, crossed by luminous fractures that moved like living veins. Every atmospheric reading contradicted known physics, yet every instrument reported the same result. Then the planet transmitted a signal, repeating with perfect mathematical precision. It was not random noise. The transmission contained structure, rhythm, and deliberate intelligence. An unmanned exploration probe was launched before the mysterious world could disappear. The probe crossed Saturn's frozen debris field, while the planet continued growing brighter. In orbit, the probe found a world of black oceans and glowing continents. There was no visible sun, yet blue light burned inside the planet's clouds. Beneath transparent ground, living lights moved together like constellations, searching for shelter. Across the northern plain, the probe detected lines too perfect to be natural. The structures proved that intelligence had once lived, built, and vanished here. At the city's center stood a monolith, still transmitting after countless silent ages. The symbols resembled both a star map and the structure of biological memory. A sealed doorway opened, revealing a chamber designed to preserve something forever. The first image stored within the chamber was unmistakable. It was Earth, but the continents, oceans, and cities belonged to an Earth that had not happened. The archive showed humanity abandoning a dying world aboard enormous migration vessels. Their ships crossed a gateway and disappeared beyond every known map of space. The same unknown planet then appeared alive, covered by cities of impossible beauty. The final records suggested its vanished inhabitants were not aliens, but descendants of humanity. Before the archive could reveal more, the signal fractured and the planet began destabilizing. It did not explode. Entire continents simply faded, as though reality were deleting them. The probe escaped orbit only seconds before the world vanished behind it. After exactly 17 minutes, empty space remained where an entire world had been. The recovered data was sealed, classified, and marked as impossible to verify, but the final signal remains active, waiting for the moment that world returns.